explain some things that's actually happening as far as the transformation. You always heard me talk about a good friend named Bob Cece. So we're going to give you actual human beings and transformation.
Okay.
I got a good friend that just turned 70 this year. His name is Bob Cece. He's a Superman. I mean, his mannerisms, his looks, and everything is like probably early 60s or late 50s. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he just turned 70. But he made mention that the doctor said his thyroid don't work, his adrenaline gland don't work, all these things don't work, but they can't find no side effects. It's almost as if to say, you got all these things that's not working in you, but on the other hand, you function on a very high level. It's not like he has one side effect or one effect of illness based on these things don't work. And they're baffled. They say, we can't understand how there's nothing wrong with you, but you have several things on you that don't work. And so I said, well, number one, we know that you are God and you've been on this path for a minute. But I said, because he was one of the ones that at the Church of Philadelphia, we helped build a lot of the things I lectured on and a lot of things over the 90s. We really worked together, and it was a consortium of bringing all this particular knowledge, but they were there in the beginning. We call it the Church of Philadelphia. Now, the brother Bob Cece, and I figured it out. I said, Bob Cece, I said, the reason why they can't find nothing wrong with you, but all your stuff is not working, I say because you didn't survive the car crash in 02. And what had happened in 02, he was drunk. He was walking out there. He got run over by a car. Had on a white suit. He got up. He didn't know he was dead. He didn't know he was hit. He walked 6 blocks to his sister's house, told his sister, I believe somebody got hit. Let's go back down here and see who it was. And they was all looking for the person, the people in the car and all the ambulance and all the police and stuff. They was looking for the person who supposed to got hit, and they couldn't find anybody. They said, well, this guy right over here with the white suit on, he has tire tracks all over his suit. So maybe he's the one. You see what I'm saying? So I said, well, apparently you didn't survive that car crash, which means if you are already dead, then it doesn't matter what things in your body that doesn't work. Now, this is no spook stuff. It's called death in life. Because if someone told me, well, Bobby, apparently you died in your sleep in 2001. Now, let me explain this. There's a brother named Kalindi. Now, Kalindi is a brother that deals with the sacred mushrooms and all of this. And he said he was in the hospital. He also deals with martial arts and stuff. He said he was in the hospital visiting a friend. And they have this type of, the friend had to go to the bathroom, so the nurses helped him go to the bathroom. They have this monitor on you that beeps whether you know, the same kind of monitor, if it beeps you flatline, they'll run in and, or what have you. So what he did when the friend went to the bathroom, he stuck his hand in the actual monitor. And it flatlined. And so all the doctors ran in thinking somebody's dead or they got to go and try to save somebody's life. Kalindi's standing there. And they said, well, Kalindi, was there somebody? He said, no, I was in the room. They said, did you do that? They said, yeah. He said, well, they said, put your hand back in there. And he put his hand back in there and it flatlined again. So they was like, well, apparently if your hand is in that machine and it flatlined, it means that you're already dead. You see, it means that you're already dead. So by some way of the DNA, you see what I'm saying? In some way, a certain amount of knowledge and a certain amount of things, you can transform yourself, and it's no different than being out of here. But then again, you're still functioning. So what we're talking about here, because he paid close attention, what we're talking about here tonight is this is what's happening based on the transforming aspect. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that as we go into certain things, because what happened was before the spring of 2001, I had a nephew that kept calling me a dead man. And he said, why are you calling him a dead man? He said, he's dead. He's a spirit. So obviously, this is a transformation that we're doing in this particular knowledge. And I know some people are just getting into this particular information. But as you go on, the more knowledge you learn, it's also a form of transformation, especially if you get this right kind of knowledge. And you should never stop studying, and you should never be under the doctrine of one particular person.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if you just keep this thing up, your cells and everything transforms. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
With a certain amount of knowledge that you have, and it transforms. So this is what's happened to certain people that's been in this thing for a minute. And stuff like that. They actually transform. So this is what's actually happening. We're going through a series of deaths, but we want to say a series of transformations.